Hi, my name is Chuck Vanderstelt. I'm a real estate agent in Northwest Indiana, and I'm here with the February 2023 Northwest Indiana Real Estate Market Update presented by Quadwall's real estate team at Listing Leaders. So let's dive in and get to the content that you came for. So I like to start these with looking at some trends. First trend is volume for January 2023. Closed home sales were down 29%, so a big drop, and in line with what we've been going through since October. Inventory, the days of inventory has decreased since what we saw at the beginning of the year, at the start of January. Home prices are trending higher in most categories, but we are seeing appreciation rates return to the range of long-term normal numbers. We're going to talk more about that in a moment. And home buyer sentiment, there's a lot fewer home buyers out there in the marketplace, and home buyers just kind of seem to lack motivation and a sense of urgency right now. So next section we'll go into looking at Northwest Indiana home sales that occurred last month in January of 2023. As I said, home sales were down 29%. We recorded just 549 home sales in the Gannaiar MLS during the month. We can take a look at each category now. There were 485 single family homes sold. That one category matched all categories and was down 29% for the year. Average sale price increased 4% to $263,316. Median sale price was up 5% to $224,900. Single family homes account for about 90 to 94% of Northwest Indiana real estate. Seeing those appreciation rates back into the middle single digits, those are long-term historical norms. We've been tracking along levels like that since about August, September of last year. So we've really seen a pattern get established of returning back to more normal appreciation rates. Average and median sale prices per square foot were up 1% on a year-over-year basis. The average was $132.14. Median sale price per square foot was $129.81. Condos, there were 17 condo sales for the month of January 2023, which is a 48% drop from a year ago. Average sale price fell 12% to $200,056, but median sale price was up 8% by $180,000. You want to be really careful though looking at those appreciation rates when you're looking at only 17 home sales. That's not very many data points. Average sale price per finished square foot was down 4% to $144.75. Median sale price per square foot fell 2% to $134.14. Townhomes and half duplexes accounted for 47 home sales during the month of January. In Northwest Indiana, these homes had an average sale price of $268,182, up 11% from a year ago. Median sale price rose 8% to $264.9. So seeing that category performed the best out of all of them, and townhomes, half duplexes still appreciating a bit on that higher end of a historic norm. We're going to keep an eye on that. And two, we want to be mindful of that too. Only 47 home sales to consider there, so a handful of those going in one direction or the other can really kind of skew the data a bit. Luxury real estate in Northwest Indiana. There were 36 luxury home sales reported to the Gannaiar MLS, which accounted for 6.6% of the market. I measure luxury home sale as anything that closes over $500,000, whether it's a condo or a house or a townhome, doesn't matter. Homes over $500,000 make up less than 10% of the real estate market in Northwest Indiana, and as I said, we saw this month it was only 6.6%. These homes had an average sale price of $730,878 and a median sale price of $620,000. Each of those was 6% less than a year ago. But before we think the luxury market's collapsing, something new I'm doing this year is I want to pull out the proposed and new construction homes in the luxury market. Once I pull those out, the average sale price increases to $783,900, which is less than 1% difference than a year ago. Median sale price was down 2% to $630,500. So there might be an indication there that some new and proposed construction homes are kind of skewing the data a little bit, pulling down compared to what the medians and averages were last year. So Current inventory, estimate that we have 65 days of inventory in the marketplace. During the early days of January, the first couple days of this year, 2023, we had about 73 days of inventory, so we're seeing that inventory shrink. I confirmed that in a second way. We had 978 under contract or pending transactions, which is a ratio of 1.4 listings to every one pending or under contract transaction. In January, that number was 2.1 listings to every one pending or under contract. So what that means is during the month of January, home buyers were buying homes faster than sellers were putting them up for sale. So we might be seeing inventory tightening a little bit. Right now, houses, there's about 1,400 homes advertised for sale. That's just single family homes. Versus only 813 at the start of February last year. So we do have a lot more homes on the market. Average list price, call it $367,000, which is only 1% higher than a year ago. Also showing that we're kind of returning to more normal appreciation. Median list price though is up 6% to $319. What we're seeing is more pressure at the higher end, but a lot less pressure at the lower end. So homes, I would say homes in like the bottom 40% of pricing for any market throughout Northwest Indiana, they're still appreciating at rates that are pretty high compared to historical norms. If we pull out new and proposed constructions, this drops to about 1,060 single family homes for sale. Those have an average list price of $324, so $329,000. Median list price is $244,450. So if you pull out the new and proposed construction homes, really see those prices come down some. Luxury homes for sale, currently 226 of those homes are listed over $500,000. Accounts for 16% of the market, which is pretty standard. Most months it's somewhere between 14 and 17%. Average list price was $887,000. Median list price is $700,000. If we pull out new construction, we actually see those go up, and the average list price is $963,500 with a median list price of $725,000. So a few things that I'd like to forecast as we look out the next 30, 60 days. I think the home prices continue to stabilize, and we continue to see a return to historical normal appreciation rates, which for single family homes, it's kind of the mid single digits. I don't see a home pricing crash coming. There's just not really the catalyst for a crash. Crash is a violent word. You should be thinking 20% price reductions across the board, and homes at the upper end falling 30, 40%, something like that. It's just not really there. Macroeconomic data and employment rates, and that's what I'm a big watcher of, is employment rates. Just doesn't really support that kind of a thesis to play out. Lower volume and a slower market. I think there will be fewer home sales in 2023 compared to 22. We started 22 with really low interest rates that persisted through about the first half of the year. I think all of this year we're going to be somewhere in that interest rate range of between 5 and 7%. Right now, a lot of people are signing in the low 6s. I know some of you really cringe at hearing that, but open up a 40-year historical chart. An interest rate in the low 6s really isn't a terrible thing. I do understand it is all relative. It's relative to what the price point is today. So we'll kind of watch home pricing, but I think we see home pricing really kind of stay where it is, but at the same time it doesn't run away higher. Home buyers seem really defensive. They seem very price sensitive these days. I think that's why we see the lack of urgency, lack of desire to buy. It's high home prices combined with interest rates that are quite a bit higher than what they were 1 and 2 years ago. Another forecast, limited inventory. Again, we saw inventory is a lot higher than what it was a year ago, but it's still not great. It's kind of like an equilibrium, whether the market favors buyers or sellers, with having 65 days of inventory on the market. But again, I was surprised to see how much inventory shrunk from the beginning of January to the beginning of February. So that was kind of surprising to me. I think too that we're going to have a lot of the year with limited inventory from a certain segment. I think we won't see as many of the larger two-story homes come on the market, homes that a lot of families, growing families, like to purchase. I really don't think we're going to see a lot of those, especially those that were built in the last 5-7 years. I think buyers of those in the last couple of years, they already typically hold those for a longer period of time, but now compared to the interest rate they would sign at today versus what they signed at now, they're just not very motivated to sell. So I think the inventory situation is going to be a really big question mark for this year, to see how that plays out. I'm going to try and wrap this up. I appreciate it if you've still been watching. Let's give some advice for some home buyers. Home buyers, get out there and take advantage of the slower market. There is not a big catalyst to say that, the interest rates are going to go back down to 5 or 4 or 3 in the coming months. It's just not really there. And same thing with home prices. They really are stabilizing, and we're not seeing inventory continue to expand. The story is not really there for interest rates to get lower or for home prices to really fall. So I think if you're a home buyer, get out there now in the cold days of February. And it's really slow, so you shouldn't run into as many competitive situations. You might find a great home that's been on the market for 30 days or 45 days. And you get a better deal on it than what the seller currently has it listed for. Advice for home sellers: if you're waiting out selling because you think your home will be worth 20% more next year, that's really unlikely. There really is no reason to see anything that would bring back the ultra high appreciation rates that we saw in 2020, we saw in 2021, we saw in early 22. They just don't really, there's nothing there to make that happen. I think home prices will continue to appreciate at historical norms. Homes in the top 30% of the marketplace, maybe even a little bit lower. If anything, the probability is your home will appreciate at a slower and slower pace, as it seems to be that there's more macroeconomic pressure than there is optimism right now. And that kind of leads into my second tip for home sellers: price your home correctly. What we are seeing in the market right now is homes at all different price points. If you put up a home at a very reasonable, justifiable price point, they're selling very quickly, very, very quickly. I watched a home for over $700,000 last week disappear in just a couple of days, and upon looking through all the photos of the home, I thought this home looks fantastic for that price, and it was gone. I recently listed a home in the 200s. The seller put a really great price on it to really move things along, and we were just flooded with showings. Price your home accordingly. If you don't, I'm telling you, that home buyer is really defensive, really price sensitive right now. It can be a long, grueling process for you, and there's a good chance you'll probably be doing some price reductions to get your home priced within the right, accurate range. Let's close this up. Overall, market is resilient here in Northwest Indiana. Crash is unlikely. If you're thinking about selling your home and you want more money, one way to get more money is to lower your real estate transaction fees. I believe I have the lowest advertised real estate commission fees in Northwest Indiana for an all-inclusive, full-feature listing. You get everything that you would expect to get with any other real estate agent, and I like to think I do things quite a bit better than a lot of the agents that I compete against. Feel free to check out the listing services page on my website. You can go to quadwalls.com/sell, learn all about my low real estate commission fees and the client-friendly listing terms that I offer to home sellers in Northwest Indiana. If you're a home buyer, feel free to take advantage of my quadwalls.com real estate rewards program. There you can sign up, and if you follow all the terms and conditions, you can receive a 20% real estate commission rebate on your home purchase. It's my way of helping make home buying more affordable in Northwest Indiana. If you're watching this on Facebook, please like the page. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. And feel free to add your name to a mailing list with any of the contact forms on my website. I produce a lot of Northwest Indiana real estate content that'll help keep you in the know. Again, my name is Chuck Vanderstelt. I'm the team leader of the Quad Walls real estate team at Listing Leaders. Feel free to contact me anytime to